Cheers, my new buckaroos. How the heck are you? All of a sudden, I don't know why, but the FM song, Truth or Consequence, just popped in my head. Just wanted to start singing it for you anyway. Take it all. Give it a try for a while. Make it too funny thing. Anyway, it's a great tune. If you get a chance to look at that, I don't know why this song entered my head at that moment. But nevertheless, how the heck are you? I am Tom the Beer Whisperer and Whiskey Whisperer, but I'm going to start with a cocktail right now, or my version of sort of an old-fashioned-ish drink, although I'm going to serve it a little bit different. I'm going to serve it straight up, which means I've got it chilled, but I'm not going to leave any ice in the glass. Typically, an old-fashioned is served on the rocks. Not always, but typically. Where a Manhattan is typically served straight up, like this drink. So I've got this served Manhattan style, if you will. And I've got sort of a lemon feel going about it, because I didn't make a lemon simple syrup per se. But as I was making the simple syrup, I took some lemon zest and let it sit in, in that simple syrup as the water was hot. So I got all the oils. I didn't want to get sweet, but I wanted the oils from that lemon to really help the aromatics of the cocktail, which is why I'm using a lemon peel as a garnish and not an orange peel or a cherry. I'm doing this slightly different, making a summer old fashioned. So I've got about 2.5 ounces of some Maker's Mark, a cast strength at 110. I've got 1 ounce of my homemade simple syrup that I just told you about. I've got about 3 or 4 dashes of rhubarb bitters. Why rhubarb? Why not? It kind of felt like summer to me anyway. Yeah, it was a little different. I picked these up a couple of weeks back while we were in the Kansas City area, and I really like them. It adds something a little bit different to the cocktail. I've got cherry bitters. I've got orange bitters. I've got black walnut bitters. I've got regular bitters. I've got your typical Angostura. But the rhubarb adds something just a little bit different. So that's why I use them in this particular cocktail. Let me show you the drink one more time. Had my Spotify cranking just a second ago before I stopped to do the video. The last song playing was the Super Suckers, Let's Bounce. I love that song because it is offensive to everybody or offensive to no one, depending on where you stand, right? This is something that could offend everybody. It's a great tune, man, for that reason. And they've had the ability to add maple bacon to the lyrics. Like, I love the song that will add maple bacon to any lyric. Maple bacon, risky taking maple bacon. Anyway, maple bacon. You added maple. You put maple bacon as a lyric. I love that song, man. I don't care who that offends, but God, you got maple bacon in there. anyways, anyways, I digress. As I'm getting, or as I'm preparing myself, uh, as I'm preparing myself to, well, to re-enter reality. Right? I have to go back to work next week, so Monday is getting close, getting very close. I got to go in for a meeting tomorrow, so we'll see how that goes. I'm a little nervous, a little apprehensive, and I'm a little excited about it. I'm ready to get back to work, but there are some changes that I am unaware of. I haven't been there, but I know there's some changes. I've got a new supervisor to report to. There's a new building. There's, so, being an old guy, I'm not necessarily adept to change. We don't necessarily like change, but here it is. It is upon me. I've been closing in on 5 years of this particular job, so I like to keep doing it longer, but if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be. So I don't want to write my end, but, I want to be prepared. If the new regime wants to do some things different than the old regime did, which isn't necessarily unusual. I mean, I've been at this position just shy of 5 years, and I think this is what my 1, 2, 3, 4. This will be my fifth supervisor in 5 years. So I seem to be burning and churning them There we go. And I hadn't been intending on keeping this job that long when I started. It just that I've enjoyed it so much. I just kept going while everybody, the folks that hired me, I expected them to keep going with me, and everybody kept leaving. Feel like I got bailed on, to be honest with you, especially by the last couple that left me. But nevertheless, I'll just keep going until I can't go anymore. And to be honest with you, before the surgery, that's kind of where I was at. My leg was in such bad shape. I was trying to do a job that I could no longer do. I mean, I kept pushing myself trying to get things done, and I was in just extreme pain after every shift. That man, by the time of the surgery got approved, and I had to go into my bosses and tell them I got to have this done. It was tough. I mean, I just got to that point where there was no more stretching it out. I mean, the surgery was originally scheduled for May 31st. I said, okay, well, that's good. Then it got moved back to, or moved, pushed back to a further date and pushed back again. But by the time I was able to have it done on June 21st, I mean, I could no longer do my job. I mean, I was in such pain. I took the last week of my job off because I just couldn't go in anymore. I couldn't do the job. I couldn't walk up the stairs. I couldn't do the things I needed to do. So I'm hoping things will get back to normal. So I do feel a lot better. I mean, the knee is in a lot better shape. Is it 100%? No. But is it better than it was before I went out? Yeah. In all honesty, it's in better shape than it was before I started this gig 5 years ago. So there's that. There's that, man. So anyway, I'm a little nervous to go in tomorrow for the first time in a couple months, but nevertheless, we'll do it. I'll do it. Again, I don't adapt to change very well, so and I know there's going to be a lot change, so we'll just have to see how it goes. I'll do my best to roll with whatever punches are thrown and try to remember they're paying me to do a specific job. If they change the parameters of the job, go in and just do the job, punch a clock, and go home. And that's what I have to keep reminding myself. Tom, just go in, punch a clock, do the job. Because I've always had the tendency to take things too seriously, to overanalyze everything, and that's really been my downfall. Even when I was management, was to really overanalyze everything. Sometimes things are what they are. So, anyways, I digress. As I'm having an old fashioned with you, using some Maker's Mark gas strength whiskey. This is 110. It's okay. I'll be honest with you. Makers does some good whiskey. I don't think they do great. It's good as far as the cast strength products I've had. It's good. I mean, there's nothing wrong or harsh about it, but it's not the most nuanced of products that I've had. It does work okay in this capacity, but then again, I'm not getting those nuanced flavors that I have from, say, even the Puncher's Chance, or other cast strength whiskeys that I've had. The Holiday Rickhouse. It's good, but again, I think Maker's Mark does what they do. I mean, they make a good product. But again, I just yeah, I'm just one of those guys that like to buy as small as humanly possible. When I buy a major product like this, I tend to do it a tad begrudgingly, and I usually only do it because I get a hell of a deal on it. Just a little begrudgingly, yeah. When I buy my beer, there are times I buy the big guys, but for the most part, I buy as small as possible. As my wife and I are discovering wine, I try to do the same thing. I try to buy as small as humanly possible. Because those are the folks that need my business. I mean, those California wineries don't need my money. But there's plenty of lemmings out there going to every liquor store in town buying California wine. They don't need me. So I'm gonna buy, Kill Toy out of Ornago. I'm gonna buy Viandale out of Mountain Home. I'm gonna buy Prairie Barn out of St. James. I'm gonna buy as small as humanly possible. I'm gonna buy Tyler Ridge. I'm gonna buy Seven Seas. I'm gonna buy these small guys because these are the folks making a great quality product that you're not gonna find unless you actually look for them. California wineries don't need my money. No, neither do neither do the international wineries. So they don't need my money. I'm not going to be one of the lemmings just goes out and blindly buys this stuff because they're there in the liquor store. Same way I buy craft beer. I'm not going to blindly go in and just buy whatever the liquor store says I ought to buy. I'm going to always buy as small as humanly possible. That's what craft beer started out to be until it became something else. And I don't want it to turn out. I don't want it to turn out to be what wine is. I don't want it to turn out to be even what whiskey is. When I buy whiskey, I want to buy as small as humanly possible. I will buy these guys upon occasion. I will because, well, in this particular case, I bought a 55 bottle whiskey for about 38 bucks because it was on sale at the big box store around Christmas. And that's when I bought it. Sometimes it is about the bargain, but yeah, for the most part, I will buy as small as humanly possible. And I think we all need to do that, or should do that, with whatever we buy. Go to your local farmers markets, buy stuff from them, man. Buy from those smaller guys whenever humanly possible, because those are the folks that need your business, not these other people. Anyways, tell them that's anarchy. No, it's not. I'm just talking about supporting small business. That's all I'm talking about. These big guys don't need your money. They're advertising on TV every day. They don't need you to be a levy and go in there because people are going to do it anyway. Buy as small as humanly possible. Buy from the smaller. If you've got a local butcher shop, buy from them. Yeah, they might be a little more expensive, but the quality is going to be better. You won't need as much product. You just got to learn to buy smarter. That big box store that everybody knows. I mean, people go in there assuming they've got the lowest price when a good portion of the time they don't. They know you're just going to buy the product without checking to see if they've got the lowest price because they're telling you they've got the lowest price. In a very good portion of the time, they do not. And they're clearly not offering up the best product. They're not, especially if you're talking about meat or produce. They're offering average product at best. They're meat. Who knows what they're doing? I mean, they don't have a meat department anymore. They're just stocking shelves. That stuff comes in free, everything. They don't have a meat department. Go to a store that has a meat department. Find a local butcher shop that's actually still cutting meat, man. Don't go to that big box store. Don't give a rat's ass about you. Don't buy that Soylent Green. No, I'm not saying they do. That was a joke, but that's how it starts, man. Yeah, they get y'all from buying from the same place, and damn, all of a sudden it's Soylent Green. Anyways, I digress. Soylent Green. I can help myself. Let me find another Charlton Heston reference. See if I can make an Omega Man reference. Oh, mercy, Percy. Charlton Heston. Damn. Charlton Heston, John Wayne, they were all extremely far right guys, So I'm not surprised that they tried to paint a certain picture with the way things were or the way things are going to be. I'm really not. John Wayne did that infamous interview with Playboy in '71, I believe it was, where he went on and on about how he believed in white supremacy. Uh, they felt that the Native Americans were being selfish for trying to hang on to their land, all kinds of nonsense. Yet people will still, hey, the Duke, he was a great guy. Well, hey man, I like a lot of Duke movies, but the truth is he wasn't a great guy, and he was an average actor at best. I mean, I love to shoot this. It's a great film. El Dorado, Rio Bravo. These are great movies, but I'm not saying he was a great actor, and he certainly wasn't a great human being. I mean, time tells us now the things we know about the good old Duke that he wasn't a great human being. They believed in white supremacy. But then again, the folks that are saying he's a great human being are the same people that are not going to prison. Get the Proud Boys going to prison. Yeah, oh, that's a great thing, isn't it? I love the folks that want to stand up for these folks saying, "Oh, they're being persecuted." Oh, they're no, they're not being persecuted. They're being prosecuted. They're being prosecuted because they tried to overthrow the government. They're not being persecuted for anything. Know the difference between persecuted and prosecuted. But I'm not surprised that MGT doesn't know the difference between the two. There's no telling how many diseases that chick has, and she's got the brain about this size. And I'm not saying she's the dumbest person in Washington, but she better hope Lauren Boebert doesn't die. Anyway, that's all I got to say about that. MGT might not be the stupidest person in Washington, but she better hope Boebert don't die. That's all I say. Anyway, Sláinte, here's to you. Here's to your health, both of you. Anyways, I digress. Uh, you know. Anyway, anyways, not sure where to take it from there, man. I had no intention of saying that. It wasn't in my plan. I certainly didn't have that in the script because I have no script. I'm just winging it all. I'm just winging it, baby. It just happened to come up in the course of a discussion. During the course of a discussion, this is what we were talking about. Anyway, I digress. That makes a nice drink, man. It really does. Yeah, I don't know. It is a good product, it really is, especially at 38, which I paid for it at the big box store. At local liquor stores, it actually runs about 55 and change. To be honest with you, I wouldn't pay that because there are too many other products available at about the same price that I would rather have. But if you've never had it, it's worth trying. I guess my thing is, I'm not sure why people are just enamored by names, right? Especially in the whiskey community these days, it seems to be all about allocation and certain names. Well, I got to have this for my shelf. I got to have that for my shelf. People want to buy stuff they have in a collection that they'll never drink just so they can take pictures and show their friends on. Look at me, and I cool. Well, no, you're not. You're an idiot because there are better products you could have bought for the same price, but you think that makes you look cool. And that seems to be the problem with society. However, it's not a new thing. I mean, it's the same people that had to have alligators on their shirts in the 80s. I first moved to Western Washington in late 1987, and I didn't own a damn shred of flannel. And everybody was wearing flannel out there. Like, God, I had to ride they did have a great bus system out there. So to get to my job, I got on the bus, and the bus driver tried to give me what he thought was good advice, and it probably was if I wanted to fit in. But he said, you really need to go out and get some flannel. I moved out here 10 years ago, and I just bought a lot of flannel, and then I fit in. And but I took that as anti-advice, right? Because I did not want. I've always purposely went out of my way to not fit in anywhere. I don't want to fit in. I didn't want to fit in where I was in California. I made sure of that. I didn't want to fit in Washington. The 2 years that I was there, I didn't buy any flannel. I had flannel that was bought for me because it is cold. It's not necessarily a bad thing to wear flannel in Western Washington. But I refused to buy any because I didn't want to be I didn't want to be one of them. I didn't want to fit in with any particular group. Especially as that grunge scene was happening. I didn't want to be confused as one of those people. I'm not one of them. No, I'm my own. You know, I don't belong in any group, and I want to make damn sure of that. Anyway, and that actually could be more telling about me than I want anybody to know. But I always made sure that I didn't fit in any group at all. I didn't want to fit in. I didn't want to belong to a clique of any kind, no matter how much my friends did. And a couple of close friends said, "Tom, why don't you do this?" Yeah, and I was even told on more than one occasion, why don't you care what people think about you? I just don't. you, why don't you do this? I don't. You embarrass me when you dress like this. Well, then don't be seen with me. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. You don't look good in that. Don't wear it. I don't care. Why do you? I said, why do you care what people think? So why don't you care what people think? So I just don't. And I've never really known why, to be honest with you, but I've always gone out of my way to make sure I don't fit in anywhere. I don't want to be part of any group, clique, even sub clique. I don't want to fit in. Don't want to be part of anything. I've never had that chip in my brain that has to be part of something. That's why those folks that belong to mega churches, they've got that chip that makes them want to have to be part of something. While their pastor gets major rich, buys this monster house, drives a Lamborghini, most of their patronage is probably upper middle class, but you've got this large homeless community around them that nobody is doing a damn thing for. They do some missionary stuff, in different places where that makes them feel good, right in here. But they could do some good right here at home in their own city, but choose not to. Yeah. Here's to you, people. Here's to you. This is why I don't want to fit in. That's why I don't want to belong to a church or any organization. It's because it's predominantly, well, hypocritical. Unless you can show me an organization that goes out there and actually does the right thing. No, I don't want to be a part of it. I'm going to pour the last of my Iron Gospel from Banter Brewing. Got just a little bit left, just shy of a full glass there. Anyway, it's lunch. This is 6.7%. It's their flagship IPA. They talk about a lot of tropical fruit notes. I'm picking up a lot more citrus from this batch than I have from past batches. So I'm getting more stone fruit as well. Now, it does have the tropical fruit notes that they boast about. That's for sure. But there's more citrus in here as well. You're going to get some grapefruit. You're going to get some orange. I also feel like I'm getting some stone fruit. I feel like I'm getting some peach in there right about the middle as well. Oh man, that's good. Oh, damn, that's tasty, man. Okay, all right, that's a good beer. Anyways, anyway, I digress. Yeah, pull more citrus nuts than I remember, to be honest with you. I haven't had this one in quite some time, which is why I tried it this time because I've kind of gone around the bar and there. I do have my favorites there, but I haven't picked up this one in quite a while. As always, if you have any questions or comments, if you'd like to be, like to share it, I will answer almost everything. A little caveat in there. Uh, Want to be part of the video, let me know and I'll send you a link through Messenger. The only way I will not post your comment is if you're obviously being an asshole. I've had this troll lately that just wants to troll everything I do. Rod, hey man, good to hear from you. I am again. I'm finishing the last of my Banter Brewing Iron Gospel. Good to hear from you again. A hazy IPA. I'm gonna do a. I've got a Martin City IPA and a Martin City Oktoberfest on deck. I'm not sure what order I will drink them, but they're up next. But I wanted to finish this one up first. A post your comment there, sir. So what are you up to tonight? What are you drinking, if you'd like to tell us? It is very good. Yeah, it is. It really is. Yeah, especially if you're a hazy IPA fan, it will certainly be in your wheelhouse. Again, a lot of big tropical fruit notes, but in this particular batch, I'm feeling more citrus than I remember from this beer. A lot of big orange and grapefruit notes, but I'm feeling a lot of peach in the middle, a lot of stone fruit, but peach in particular right in the middle. Drinking a ghost. Well, a ghost is always good, man. I do like the ghost. I have to admit that I'm not watching the game. It's not that I don't watch football from time to time. I had to back away from everything. I used to take baseball very seriously, football somewhat, and then cable news programs as well. But I feel like I had to take a back, or I just had to back off from everything. I had to quit watching cable news. I had to quit taking sports so seriously. I watch a game occasionally, but I'm a diehard Dodger fan, and it seems that when I watch a game, my heart rate goes up. So really, I have to, when I do watch games, I usually do it at a friend's house when it's not really serious for me, right? When my team isn't playing, or the team I'm pulling for the most. I'm a diehard Rams fan because I grew up in Southern California, so. But most of my friends out here seem to be Raiders fans, so I'll go to their house when they're watching a Raiders game, and I'll pull for them, and I'll be a good friend, but I really don't care one way or the other, so I'm not taking the game too seriously. But yeah, when I watch sports, I tend to take it too seriously. My heart rate goes up, so I just tend to not watch much anymore because I haven't learned how to watch it and not take it seriously. So I just don't watch it, and I just look at the results later. Anyway, anyways, I digress. Oh, Monkey Press, that's a good beer. So I'll get through this weekend, right? I work tomorrow at my, so I got to go in tomorrow at my regular job for a meeting as I get prepared to go back to work Monday. But then I go into my second job at 2:30, and then I am off Saturday and Sunday for my last full weekend off. It'll be my last weekend off. Well, before I start working full time again. My regular gig, I typically have most weekends off anyway, but yeah, it'll be different going forward. This is my last week where I can kind of take a breath, take a breath, where I just go back to work. That's why I'm doing this video now, kind of relax and kind of get my leg in shape. I'm a little nervous about tomorrow. I know there's some changes. I mean, I know we're in a new building. I know I have a new supervisor, but I don't know a lot of the details. I know a lot of the basics, but not the details. So I'm a little nervous, but like I said, I'm closing in on 5 years. So sometimes I just take things too seriously, though. I know this about myself, that I take things too seriously. I take things too personally. So I need to walk into that meeting tomorrow thinking, Okay, just listen to them and then go do my job, and then that's it. And not take it too serious and not take it too personal. Thanks. I appreciate that, Ron. I really do, because I do have this. I do tend to overanalyze everything. It is my kryptonite, if you will. I mean, and I've tried to change that over the years, and I like to think I'm getting better at it. But yeah, I do tend to overthink and overanalyze everything. So I just got to walk in there tomorrow thinking, okay, they're just going to tell me what's different. I just have to write it down, accept it, and then walk out of the room, and then just from Monday through whatever, go in, clock in, do my job, and clock out. And that's what I have to remember: just walk in, clock in, do your job, and clock out, and not take it personally, because it's not personal, and it shouldn't be personal. But sometimes I feel like it is. There are reasons, but sometimes you just got to go with it. And then for my side gig tomorrow, they've got a little benefit happening, so it's going to be a little busier than usual, which I like. So I'm actually looking forward to that part of the day, because I know it's going to be busy, and then it's going to be require what uh, well, require what I have. What they hired me for is to be this over the top, to talk about beer, to propagate beer, to pour beer. I'm clearly not the most efficient bartender. I'm just not. I mean, I can't even pretend that I am. These kids are so much better at the POS system than I am. I mean, I can manage it, but I don't punch the buttons as fast as these youngsters do. What I bring to the table is a whole lot of years of experience and a big bad personality. Now that's what I bring to the table is me. So, and it's one of the reasons they hired me because of that. So that's what I need to bring tomorrow. Let the youngsters hit the POS system a little faster, and you just be you, dog. Yeah, yeah. So, anyways, let me finish this one up. Uh, well, Rod, I imagine you want to get back to the game and not watch me. I digress. So anyway, I am Tom the Beer Whisperer, beer evangelist, prolific beer drinker, purveyor of wisdom, and all around good guy, Slot. Thanks, guys. I appreciate you tuning in.